Welcome to Discourse, a podcast about music as a medium for conversation. I am excited and terrified to kick off our very first episode. I've wanted to do this for so long, and it has been a labor of love for me. I'm Heather, my co hosts are Raja and Carla, and our very first guest is Tivi Jones. Tivi is the founder and CEO of Hey Awesome Girl, a full service marketing and media production studio in Durham, North Carolina, and our boss lady. Hey Awesome Girl is really what brought everything together to make this show happen. So, first of all, thank you. And also, tell us a little about the mission of your company.
Oh man, I should have prepared better. Um, yeah, like you said, Hey Awesome Girl is a full service creative agency. We do mission driven work. We work with government agencies, nonprofits, all sorts of small businesses. Our mission is really to just make the world a more awesome place. So we are a team of beautiful professionals, many who are on this screen right now and people who aren't on the screen right now. And this is top quality professionals lending their services to mission driven groups. And so I'm really excited to also support this project because our social mission is to empower women in entrepreneurship. And media is a beautiful platform for entrepreneurship for women. So I'm happy to be here with you, Heather.
Awesome. And it's only fitting that our theme today is first. We have some interesting picks. I'm really excited to share this playlist with everyone. So, let's get going. Music starts in three, two, one. This first song is Big White Room Live by Jessie J. It was released on Who You Are on Universal Republic Records in 2011. Tivi, tell us about this song.
Oh man. Okay. So, in the theme of first, I first heard this song at a drag show in Durham, downtown Durham, which was amazing. And I have to honestly say, this song was the first song that I ever heard at a drag show. And I immediately was like, what song is this? Immediately went home, downloaded it from Apple Music. What I love about this song in the topic of first is what people don't always tell you about first is that sometimes firsts and new explorations come from a place of pain. This song is the song that I sing when I feel overwhelmed, when I feel trapped, when I just feel like the world is weighing on my shoulders. And that might sound really dark and depressing, but that's also a catalyst for me. Like I always say, discomfort is data. And when I first started my entrepreneurial career, I remember feeling like I'd hit rock bottom. And honestly, there's a lot of power and freedom in that rock bottom because there's only, where else can you go from rock bottom? Up, right? So this song to me is like almost like the prequel to that first. It's like the catalyst to that first. And she's singing, I'm going crazy, I'm losing my mind in this big white room of mine. So yeah, when I think about first, I wanted to start with something that helped people not just think about the positives of first, but think about like what gets you to the first because it's not all romanticized. Sometimes it's really hard. Plus, I love the live version. Vocals are amazing. And I don't really follow a lot of Jessie J. I don't know if y'all do. Do y'all?
A few tracks, but I don't know her whole discography or anything.
Yeah. The voice is amazing on the live version. And the drag show that I attended, it was very somber in the first half of the song. And then this part, she's like running around and she's like very dramatic and just expressive. And I don't know, like everybody on this screen is an entrepreneur in some way and a professional in some way. And I mean, is that relatable? Is that relatable to be like, oh my God, I feel trapped, I feel overwhelmed, and then you're like, all right, I'm about to do something else. Like,
Oh,
you know
absolutely.
what I mean?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
They switch it up all the time.
And I like what you
Hmm.
said about like having to hit rock bottom. Like recently saw a line of poetry from I think Emily Dickinson,
Hmm.
and it's talking about very roughly paraphrasing because I cannot remember what it was, but it basically was like, when I hit the bottom, it felt solid and comforting because I knew like could only get
Mm,
up.
Mm, yeah.
yeah. I also feel like those moments, and I've been reflecting a lot about rock bottom this week. Like whenever I have like a big week where I'm overwhelmed with like my reality, I often like bring myself back to those days where like I wanted this to be my reality. And I'm like, wait, take a break. Like you're living what you wanted to manifest.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
often go back to like the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey when I was 25 and like I left a very comfy cubicle job in Chapel Hill to waitress so that I could build this right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that was for me a lot of rock bottom because like I would often be like covered in like food and doing all these things and I'm like, am I ever getting out of this? Like, is there ever gonna
Mm-hmm.
be? But then when you do get those breaks and you do get those moments, and I think like not to, I hate to be that person that's like, you have to go through those moments to really appreciate that. But I do think that it makes you appreciate it more. Like,
It does.
yeah, I definitely think that
Yeah.
like ease is a good way to succeed. Like, please, like, more ease, universe. But I think like those difficult moments and like hitting rock bottom really helps you to savor the moments where you are in ease or where you are living what you wanted to manifest more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
Absolutely.
mean, and firsts are hard. Like, it's literally a first because you've never done it before. So, like, you gotta like build the tools because even in the success, there are gonna be more like what feel like really tough rock bottom moments, and you gotta like keep moving to that next level every time. So, yeah, this was this was crucial for me to like start with like that foundational. So,
I love that.
All
No.
right. This next song is One to One by Tevin Campbell and Rosie Gaines. It was released on a Goofy movie by the Walt Disney Music Company, 1995. Raja, tell us about this one.
Yeah, the funny thing is, this movie came out 1995, so I would have been two. I didn't see it until I was probably like eight-ish, but I fell in love with the movie, the message behind it of just like growing pains and learning that you like still need
mm-hmm,
your parents, even though you're trying to go out and find yourself in the world. Um, and thinking about Tevin Campbell is voicing the character Powerline, who is actually a combination of Prince, Michael Jackson, and Bobby Brown. So if you look
mm,
at all those artists and then hearing the voice and the lyrics, it really represents all of those artists, I think, beautifully, but also the title in iTunes, it is one to one, but in other formats, it's eye to eye. So a lot of people are like
mm,
looking at how um, it pays homage to Prince's song titles like I Would Die for You. Um,
mm-hmm.
and so just that energy of love and how it can conquer a lot of things. And I think I said it before, I'm a lover girl. And so just like I definitely believe that love can conquer a lot of things. Yes.
Mm,
And
Yeah.
so this is just my favorite song. My favorite song. I love the song. Anytime I hear it, it can bring me out of a bad mood. Even thinking just about like the world and everything that's going on. If you
Uh-huh.
listen in this part right here, people are, they're born in love. They come from love, and if we were to move with love more, I think we could really get somewhere.
Mm. I love this. I
Hmm.
love that it's from a Goofy
me, I
movie.
love a
Yes.
Like,
goofy
Right?
movie.
I don't think I've seen this movie since the 90s. Now I need to rewatch it.
I
Yes.
need to
Okay.
I haven't seen it since the '90s either.
I actually just recently saw this movie and I really
What?
like I
What?
cry every time because
Oh.
like
Oh.
also I think like Goofy as a dad, like I'm a Donald girl. But I
Oh,
Uh-huh.
always loved Goofy, and I think like as a like he's like the kind of dad like everyone would want to have, like figuring it out, like
Yeah.
stumbling, but also just like really like daddying it up.
Hmm. Like Roger
happy.
said, love. A lot of love from
Yeah, yeah,
Goofy.
Yes, I'm
yeah,
gonna love you through your attitude right now.
Okay?
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
That's a choice.
Goofy probably won't even notice the attitude. He's just like, just come over here. Just give
Goofy's
me a
just
hug.
like, oh, or whatever does that hiccup that he does.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, so cute.
So good.
And of
oh
course,
no,
And
I
it's
love the powerhouse vocals.
mm,
yeah. I'm not
Hmm.
surprised that like it is in the Goofy movie because I feel like the best lessons are in children's movies for like adults.
I
yes,
cry at a
Yes.
lot of children's movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh
Like
my
Coco
goodness.
season is coming up.
Oh, don't get me
So
I
started.
can't, Carla. Don't,
Mm,
don't, Carla.
No,
oh no.
Mm-mm.
I don't need to remember right now.
next week, set
I
up your
might, I might
homework.
watch it for you.
I'm gonna watch it too. I'm not even gonna front.
Yeah,
I love that
I
movie.
have to
it's
watch
so
it every
beautiful.
year. It's a gorgeous movie.
I mean, I think that's the great thing about firsts is nothing is lost, and as you experience more firsts, you learn from previous firsts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. This next song is First Date by Blink 182. It was released on Take Off Your Pants and Jacket on Geffen Records in 2004. Carla, tell us about this song.
Okay, I'm sorry. I really like this song. So Blink 182 was I was a rocker girl in high school, and I still am a little bit, like a lot of it, but yeah. I think I'm just more like open, but I used to have blue hair.
What? I
Yeah,
had
Ooh,
no
pictures.
idea.
there's more
Hmm.
to me than meets the eye. Um, Before I was blonde, there was a lot of colors on this head. Yeah, and so when I was a teenager, I had a lot of like bullying coming from like my family. I grew up with boys, and I wasn't like, uh, pretty in their eyes. So like I always considered that I wasn't gonna be a pretty girl, but I had all these other qualities. Like I was smart and I was funny. And then when I was like 15, I had my first boyfriend,
This is
Nick, who
relatable.
was gorgeous. Like he was so gorgeous. And I remember every time he would pick me up, I would like play the song.
Oh,
And like
Oh,
I dated him for 3 years, and yeah, I used to have a lot of like Blink 182 like merch and stuff. But I always love this song just because like it reminds me of being, a teenager and
mm-hmm.
getting picked up for my very first date.
Oh,
So sweet.
I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
mm-hmm.
Also, I've always loved Travis from the very beginning.
Hmm.
You're
He's
such a
my fave.
Kardashian. You look at you.
I mean,
I
even
was a
before I knew
Tom
what a
girl.
Kardashian was, I was into Travis.
There you go. I mean, he had that show with his ex-wife at around the time that like I was a teenager, and I used to
Oh,
watch
that's
it on
right.
E. Yeah.
I never knew that.
She was like a model or something. I think I only saw a couple episodes, but I remember them having a conversation about if humans had tails. And like how Travis, if he had a tail, it would be like all tatted up and everything. And I think about
Sounds
that
right.
conversation a lot. It just stuck with
It's
me.
like random.
That was the inspiration for Avatar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious?
No.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, I was already laughing at Carl. And then I was like, wait,
I
is
was
she?
being sarcastic.
All right, this next song is Chain Me Free by The Matches. It was released on Yvonne Dahl Killed the Locals on Epitaph Records in 2008. So this was, so The Matches are like my favorite band. They'll probably come up again on the show. Um, and I found them at Best Buy. I went in back in the day when, you got new music by CD, not the internet. And I got a Punkorama 10 disc, and you know, they had a collection of songs, and then they also had a bonus disc that was videos. So One of their other songs was on the audio only. This they had as a music video. And this they have a lot of great music videos, but this one in particular is really impressive. So in it, they're all on this circular stage that's rotating, but then when the chorus comes on, their video goes backwards. So, like in interviews with the band, they talk about how they actually learned the chorus backwards and they would actually say it that way so they could reverse the video. And it's,
Yeah.
they're classic pop punk. They were really good for a lot of reasons, but, in the video, they have, torn jeans, whatever, and the lead singer has a, like, makeup line going through his eye. So, like, I immediately fell in love with them. Like, they did all the things that I love.
Oh my God, that's so cute. I miss like going to like buy music and like the
Right?
physicality of like CDs.
Yeah.
Like I
Hmm.
in one of these closets. Oh my God, I hope my uncle doesn't watch this. I have like one of his old like CD packs that had like all of these different like you remember those like almost like a y'all know what I'm talking about, like the
Yeah, the
Yes.
big
little
CD
booklet.
Out
packs.
of my parents' storage unit yesterday, so yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh man. And if you, I didn't have this because we ain't have money like that. But those CD changers in the car where you'd have
Or
Ah,
like the
like the five
all.
CDs. Yeah, you could put five CDs. My mom had a boyfriend that gifted her one of those, like, do you guys remember that, like, five-tier CD players?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
That it was like, one was the radio, the other, yeah. So it was like, there was like a whole sound system like that that my mom's boyfriend at some point gifted her.
oh
And
wow.
I used to think, like, we were hip as hell because we had this, like, what? I don't have to change the CD? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it just goes to the
Futuristic.
next one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, the really fancy
Yeah.
ones, the shuffle would like switch between discs
Mm-hmm.
too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you like
Yeah.
really were fancy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really, yeah,
And
really
you had those
fancy.
like ginormous, like, what's it called? I don't even know the name in Spanish. I'm just doing speakers.
Ah.
Mhm.
All right, that is round one. It's time for a message from our sponsor, but we don't have one, so I'm going to share something that I love. This is a free ad for Chewy. I've been using Chewy for so long. I love them so much. I keep telling people that they should use them. It is an online pet store, and they have the best customer service. You may have heard about them sending flowers to customers who lost pets. I do know someone personally who got that. They also send birthday cards for your pets, and
Oh.
I swear they are handwritten. If you look, like the letters are
Yeah.
not consistent. You can't see it on the video. They also randomly sent me a painting of my dog.
Look at that.
That's
Right
where you got
there.
that
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
Chewy
I
sent me
always
this.
wondered.
Yeah,
That's
like there was
legit.
no explanation. It just showed up in the mail one day.
Oh my
But
God, I
like I
would
love I
die.
love this company so much.
from? Talk about delight. I
Yeah,
love
Mm-hmm.
it's such
that.
an amazing, like, user
Yeah.
experience.
Holler
It's
at us, Chewy.
Really?
I got a
yeah,
dog. Carla got
absolutely.
dogs.
Please
Roger working
sponsor
on
us. That
one.
would be
I'm working
amazing.
on one. Yes.
Do they ship overseas?
I don't know. They might. We'll have to look that up.
I used to use
Yeah,
Chewy actually when I lived here, but I
nice.
never got a painting.
You're
Well,
not
like
VIP like Heather.
yeah, everything is on auto ship, and I have so many pets that they're probably like, oh yeah, that's we should send her something. I paid for that over many years.
Right.
I love that.
I by
All right.
mistake subscribed twice to a box for Milo's birthday, so he got double the birthday
Oh,
presents.
I know he's
oh,
not mad.
Milo.
Good for him.
All right,
Yeah,
let's get into
not good
round
for
two.
my wallet.
Oh, here we go.
Ooh,
This
Oh, I
yes.
song
love this song. Love this
is
Mhm.
song.
Mhm. Mhm.
New Rules by Dua Lipa. It was released on Dua Lipa on Dua Lipa Limited in 2017. Uh,
It's me.
yes.
It's
Tivi, tell
me.
us about this.
So I'm trying to like make the connection between like when I first heard the song and then also what the song means for me for first. So in terms of my life, when I first heard this song, I was going through a breakup. Uh, and I actually heard this song. My ex and I, we were breaking up, but we were trying to remain friends because we were friends before we got into a romantic relationship. And so this was one of the songs that we like would send to each other, like just like healthy boundaries in this world where we know we love and care for each other, but we are no longer going to be in a romantic relationship. So it's very literal in that way. But then also when you think about firsts and like starting over and doing new things, you have to have new rules. You can't do the same thing that you've been doing and expect something different. So I really like the idea of like when you're embracing first, when you're moving forward, having some new rules. And sometimes you gotta like say the specific things to yourself. Like in this song, you trying to get over somebody, don't be under them
Okay.
because it makes it a little bit hard.
Yeah, yeah. That's a great rule.
Yep.
Do
That
not
was
spin
everyone,
the
right?
block.
Right. Do not go back home. Go back home.
I mean, I know nothing gets somebody sweet on you than when you don't want to get under them. I know from experience.
It supplies so many levels. Plus, it's a good song. You know I like a bop.
Hmm.
This is an excellent bop. I think that's important too. Like, having gone through divorce and knowing a lot of people who've gone through divorce, like it's tricky to navigate those changes sometimes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Yeah.
never gone through divorce and I'm saying yeah.
Me too,
Well,
me
I
too.
mean,
But I
I mean, you
get
get it.
breaking
I
up.
get
I
it.
Yeah.
get it, I get it.
it
It's
applies to breakups of
understandable.
all
Mm-hmm.
kinds. Yeah, it
Yeah,
applies to
Yeah.
platonic relationships too.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's all change management. Like grief is
Hmm.
change management. Relationship breakups are change management. You have to.
yeah,
The root of change management is change and doing something different.
yeah,
So you got to have new rules.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that end of that relationship, you learn something or some things. So
Mm-hmm.
new
Yep.
Hopefully.
rules make sense for how you want to not repeat that.
Heather, hopefully. Right.
Yeah.
I hope
I mean, even
so.
if you don't learn anything like about the person or because often we focus on like, oh, I'm never doing that again, but that's a good
Mm-hmm.
lesson too, you
Hmm.
know?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like, oh, I never want to feel this way, or now I know
Mm-hmm.
that's not how I want to feel. And then when you feel that again, it's a more.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, I love this song.
This next song is Don't Dream It's Over by Isaiah Firebrace and Stan Walker. It was released on Deadly Hearts Walking Together on Australian Broadcasting Corp 2020. Raja, tell us about this one.
It's just a beautiful song I heard on TikTok. I was really caught by the vocals and the first language. Isaiah Firebrace is a First Nations pop artist based in, I think, LA and from Australia. And of course, this is a cover of the '80s song um, from Crowded House. And just a beautiful message of don't let the dream go. It's even though this is also talking about the original song is about a breakup as well, and it's like even though it's over between us, that shouldn't get you down to continue on. But I think this cover adds a whole new dimension in a different language. I just feel a little more warmth from it. Um, and the pain a little bit of
Mm.
having to deal with the change that you don't necessarily want and kind of wanting to give up, but also thinking about what Tiffany was talking about earlier with being an entrepreneur and getting to that point where it's like, ooh, this is
Mm-hmm.
difficult and deciding which way to go. And it's like your dream doesn't have to end, it can just shift. So even
Mm-hmm.
thinking about what that looks like, and the song really helps me reflect on things like that. How can I change it so that I can still continue with the dream? The dream can still be the same, but how you get there will be varied. You know, there will be obstacles. You might have to drop somebody off along the way. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and just, it's not over until you want it to be. So I think that's just
Mm-hmm.
powerful. And like Tiffany was saying earlier too, like there's so much you can learn from pain or things that you don't want to go through. Um, but it also is a way for you to, like Carla was saying, learn what you don't want. Um, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a beautiful version. It just sounds lovely.
Oh,
Well, this is a beautiful song.
it is.
I love when the covers are just as good as the original.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes, I don't know, this happens to me a lot with covers where the cover gives me a new perspective of the song I had had
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
before. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That happens to
It's
me
like,
with this cover of Hit Me Baby One More Time by Travis. Like,
Ah,
it hits me differently.
Yeah.
you might have to send me that one.
yeah,
Uh huh.
we need that.
Sometimes it like adds a different texture to it, right? It's just
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
it's not like better or I mean sometimes it might be like the texture just gives it a little extra oomph.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. For sure.
All right. This next
Ah,
song is Corazon Partido by Alejandro Sanz.
Mm.
It was released on Mass on Warner Music in 1997. Carla, tell us about this one.
so I didn't realize we had so many breakup songs in this list. But when I picked the song, I was thinking about like the first song that I ever like learned by heart that wasn't,
Mm,
like a lullaby or something. And it was this song by Alejandro Sanz, which is called Corazón Partido, which is, it literally means broken heart. Um, and then, this song like skyrocketed Alejandro Sanz fame, like really, really did. Um, but it has like the song starts with like tiritas pa este corazón partido, which basically like band-aids for this broken heart.
Well,
And then he has this part that says like ya lo sé que corazón que no ves, corazón que no siente, corazón que no siente amor, which is like, now I know that like like what you don't see, like out of sight, out of mind, like, but
mm,
I still have all of these like illusions, of like what we should have lived. And so he's like, ¿para qué me curaste cuando estaba herido? Si me dejas con el corazón partido, right? So like, why did you come into my life when I was in pain and healed me, and then now you leave me again, like with a broken heart?
mm.
Yeah. And then like the
Damn.
chorus, yeah, it's a really like pretty song. And so like, ¿quién llenará de primaveras este enero? Y bajará la no. So like, it's just a really beautiful song in general, and it has a lot of elements of like, it has like the Spanish guitar because he's a Spanish singer from Andalusia. But it also has that like pop element, and it
Mm,
has like a little bit of Italian pop in it because the producer was Italian. Oh, it's here, like
mm,
band-aids for this broken heart. But I think it's like one of those songs that like whenever I listen to it, it brings me back to my childhood.
mm,
Um, and this is also a beautiful part of the lyrics, right? Like dar solamente aquello que te sobra nunca fue compartir sino dar limosna amor. Like giving only like what you have extra of is not sharing. It's charity. So like, and then he also goes and
mm,
says that like after this person there's nothing. And I feel like when we're going through pain or when we're going through like grief or we're in a breakup, it feels like what better than what's happening or what I had is coming. Like it's
mm-hmm,
impossible to
mm-hmm.
see a future because you're in that grief. And at
Yeah.
least for me, what I have learned, and I think this is like what has been a very important part of my healing process, is that I don't have to think about what's next. Like I just have to
Mhm.
think about, like I have to honor that pain, and if I'm feeling it,
Mhm.
if I'm feeling that grief, it's all of that unexplored love that I have, but that lives inside me.
Mm.
Um, and I think like I hate it when like you're going through something and somebody's like, oh, it's gonna get better, or like someone else is gonna come along. It's like I don't care if someone else is coming along. Like this is where I am now. Like people are not
Mhm.
disposable. Like feelings are not disposable. Like just let me feel this.
Mm.
Just be like, yeah, girl, cry it out. Like I'm gonna bring some wine
Let it out.
and we're gonna
Mhm.
cry until you can't cry anymore, and then like tomorrow's another day. Like I think that's better advice for when you have a broken heart.
Mm.
Yeah, you gotta feel the feelings to get through them.
True.
Yeah,
Very true.
yeah.
I will say I'm the friend that's like, we riding out, like who we gotta go see, like
Yeah,
we gotta bring everybody.
I'm the friend that says, "What can we burn? You're gonna process this. Let's do it."
Yeah. I have changed a lot of like I don't know. I think because like I had a very long relationship where a lot of things happened. And it's like 7 years where there was a lot of cheating and like a lot of pain and a lot of stuff. And then when I was finally done and thought it was all done and thought this person like really didn't care about me, we had a year apart where we like really were just friends, friends, but like really friends. I was
Hmm.
friends. He was not in the friends, but I learned a lot to transform like the way that I saw my relationship and the things that were happening, and that I
Hmm.
was also happening to that person. Like that person wasn't just happening to me.
Mm.
And I think for me that has completely transformed like the breakup process and like the moments of silence. And I feel like sometimes it's not our time with people in that moment.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that's not your person. Sometimes it's just not your time,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, and I always tell myself, at least of late, like anything that I felt with this person, not to be rude, because I have some really amazing exes, but anything that I felt with this person is because I chose to feel those
Mm,
feelings, not
Yeah.
because they're
Mm.
the only person that I can feel this for.
Yeah.
So that helps me like separate a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah. I
Okay,
love this
this
one.
this next song is "You Should See Me in a Crown" by Billie Eilish. It was released on "When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go" on Darkroom Interscope Records in 2019. So I assume everyone knows who Billie Eilish is. She's
I do.
huge the last few years. So this was the first song that I was exposed to from her. It was actually like a targeted ad on YouTube. So she had started to get a following. I think more on like the California side of the country. I don't think anyone I knew who she was yet. But I feel like things come to my circle rather slowly.
Mm.
And this music video I adore. So it's her, pretty much just her the entire video, and she has a crown and stuff. But there's spiders crawling all over her, like big tarantulas, and she apparently was very adamant that it needed to be practical effects, that she did not want CG of any kind. So like, mad respect for her for doing
Oh,
this.
she a G.
Really?
Yes, she is. Yes. And also, what I also love about it, like when I show people, like especially like men I worked with, like they were really creeped out by it, and that made me really happy.
I know that's right, Heather.
uh, and I
Oh,
think
I
yes.
have,
what I really love about
Good.
her earlier music is that there are a lot of really dark themes in it,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
yeah,
but the music is still very like kind of elegant and captivating, and I like that combination.
yeah.
Hmm.
Her voice is always so like, for me, it's like either it can be really soothing, but also in
Mm-hmm.
like an eerie way, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
I remember I used to have, when I lived in the Dominican Republic, I used to have these like, I used to call them like Uranus day, like no, Neptune nights,
Uh-huh.
where I would just like Neptune out, like I would just let this Pisces energy come into my apartment, and like I would dance and like listen to music.
Nice.
And like a lot of those playlists had a lot of Billie Eilish because I feel like she has that like siren effect to her where she can be like very
Mm.
inviting, but
Mm-hmm.
also be creepy if she wants to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, siren
I love
effect.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, Siren is
Yeah.
the word that came to mind.
that's really good. I need to give Billy more spins. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't
Mm-hmm.
have, I maybe have one song in my library,
Oh, only one?
but I love a haunting
Yeah.
energy. So
Yeah.
Listen to this album. There's a lot of good stuff
So,
on it.
yeah, this is the
we'll
album
do.
that I Don't Want to Be You Anymore is in, right?
Um, I
I
think
don't
so.
wanna be you. Yeah,
I think so.
I think
I
so.
I mix things up a lot, so maybe check it. But all right, now it's time for a note about production. Discourse is produced in partnership with Hey Awesome Girl, a full service marketing and creative studio on a mission to help female entrepreneurs build and grow companies that empower their lives. Become a part of their awesome community by visiting heyawesomegirl.com/grow. And of course, that is run by Tivi.
That's why I'm here.
Yay!
The weakest link.
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh
The
no.
linchpin. The
Oh
Uh-uh.
linchpin.
Lord.
Oh,
You can cut that out.
y'all are sweet.
Please edit that
Yes,
out.
ma'am. Yes, Raja.
Like cut that out. Cut that and the part where you're like, I'm terrible at doing this hosting thing.
We should keep that in.
All right, all right. Let's get into round three.
Oh.
This track
Oh,
is
okay.
Entrepreneur by Pharrell Williams and Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
It was released as a single on Columbia Records in 2020. Tibby, tell us about this one.
Okay. I got to end on a high note. And I'm an entrepreneur. So, okay, making the connection between my first and this in terms of first. First time I heard this was in 2020, and I actually think I saw the video of this, like the first time I heard the song. And the video featured a lot of people that I admire, some people that I know, and it just showed them as entrepreneurs and like taking leaps and big firsts in their lives. So, a connection I have, he had bought this old historic home and was restoring it. He now has a show out, I think, on HBO Max about the restoration of that home. He's an openly gay black man in the creative entrepreneurship industry. It featured Issa Rae. I mean, obviously with Pharrell and Jay Z, like really prominent musicians and entrepreneurs, and just ahead of their time in many many ways. So yeah, like the lyrics about risking it all. You gotta let go if you want to fly. You gotta take the leap. You gotta risk it all. Like these are for like, and not that you have to like literally risk it all, but sometimes when you're starting something new, it feels like such a big thing. It feels like such a big risk. And so just getting through those emotions. And as an entrepreneur, I feel it every day of my life, like this scary
Yeah.
journey of like being the ultimate decision maker, being responsible for not just myself and my company, but the people who depend on me. Like there's just it's a lot of
Yeah.
first energy in that. And to be honest, as a black woman, I really appreciate the message towards black men. I'm not a person that thinks everything is for me. I think we as a country need to come to terms with that, especially a country that is so diverse. Like, let people have what they have, and you can still celebrate it. I still rep this song hard, and it is specifically saying black man, black man, black man. Like, I go hard for the people I care about, black men, white women, Latinas, Latinos, like everybody in my circle. Like, there's a way that you can still
Yeah.
celebrate people and not feel like things are always about you. So I know there was a lot of messages in there, but these are all the things that this song makes me think about.
But also
And
like
keep us back
being
until
the
you stop and play
first. Oh,
yourself.
oh, so
Sorry, I
sorry.
was singing the lyrics.
Sorry, sorry, sorry. No, what I was gonna say is that like also like being the first to ever do something is very scary because it could either you could either have a lot of support or
Mm-hmm.
you could also have a lot of people that are like, you are insane. Like, what do you mean that you
Yep.
are taking all these risks and,
Yep.
getting into debt or,
Mm-hmm.
and I think as an entrepreneur, there's a lot of like leaps of faith that
Mm-hmm.
happen where you're just like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to like take this on, but I'm gonna figure it out and I'm gonna trust that I will
Yep.
be able to. Like,
Yeah.
um, and that like I remember like the first year of my first year of entrepreneurship, I like was suicidal. Legit. Like I was
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm,
what did
I
I do?
understand. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
fuck, why did I do this?
yeah,
I mean, and just to kind of speak from a cultural perspective, like me as a black woman, like my family doesn't have a long history of financial sustainability,
yeah,
right? Like I come from the legacy of slavery. And so to step outside and do something explicitly on my own is a big first, to your point, Carla.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Kudos to you.
Yes.
this next song is How Many Miles by, is it McGee? Is that how you pronounce it?
I've been saying MKG.
MKG? Okay, that
That's what
that
I've
could
been
be it
saying.
too. One of those. It was released on Two Star and the Dream Police on R&R Digital in 2024. Raja, tell us about this one.
Another TikTok find. I really just love the way it sounds. It reminds me of uh, just the nostalgia type of sound, or like when you cut on a TV, you can kind of hear the static, but it's not loud. Or just when you cut on an electronic device, so the synths in the background and also the vocals. But the messaging behind the song is really what got me thinking about when you leave your hometown for the first time. And for me, I'm definitely big on, being proud of where you come from, whether it's a small town, big town. Um, but leaving your town, I think, is important for growth. Even if you stay where you're from, traveling, going out, meeting people, trying new things, I think is a big part of that personal growth and also changing your perspective on the world and yourself. And this song represents that for me. Um, and the lyrics and just the sound and the vibe makes me think of being on the road or on a plane and a train, just
Mm.
traveling. How many miles are you willing to go to find yourself?
Yeah, I like that.
I love
Mm-hmm.
this. Yeah.
It's so vibey too.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
almost reminds me, and you may have, I feel like this kind of alludes to what you were saying. Like those like lo-fi
Yes.
playlists, like when
Yes.
you're just like working, 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 but it's like good work music, but it's
Mhm.
also chill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, this next song coming up is First Love by Adele. It was released on 19 on XL Recording Limited in 2008. Carla, tell us about this one.
So I actually first heard this song when I was in ballet. We used to use it because it has like it's like piano ballad that she's so good at. But I feel like it's such a good breakup song. And she's breaking up with someone, not the other way around, which is usually her MO. But I always really love the song because I think like when you're getting broken up, I am of the people that prefer getting broken up with. Think at this point in my life, I think it's easier to be the one that gets broken up with than the one that breaks up. At least for me, Tivi, because like the ball's not on my court. Like I just gotta heal. But whenever like I feel like if you
Mm,
really care about someone and you're breaking up, like you have to do that emotional part of like watching that person. Obviously, it depends on the person. Like if the person was shitty, but I feel like if
true.
it's someone that you really love, but the relationship has just run its course and it's time to end, and I mean, it doesn't have to
Hmm.
be a love person. It could
Yeah.
be a person you work with or a friendship, like
Hmm.
it's like sometimes relationships run their course and not necessarily
Yeah.
everybody did their thing, but there's a line I really love, which is like thing is coming up and it says, like this love has dried up and stayed behind. I'll let her say it.
That voice.
Mm-hmm.
But so I love that because like yeah, I could stay and like yeah, I'll live, but I won't be like
Hmm.
fully alive.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people stay in relationships because they're afraid of hurting the other person, because they're afraid of
Mm-hmm.
going through the freaking terrible pain of breaking up and changing.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it's super important. I think like first love, because so many of us are not with our first loves. Like so much of our first loves like have
Thank
fizzled
God.
out. You
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah. No, you're right.
I think
I feel like
also,
in relationships, I like being, as Glorilla says, I don't get left, I'm a leaver. Um, but in like friendships, working relationships, I would rather be broken. Like, I don't want to get to the point where I have to break up, like in like a friendship or a working relationship. You let
mm-hmm.
me when you're ready to go. Let me know. So,
Yeah. I think a lot of people feel that way because, like, you have to choose to completely change the whole environment involved in that. Like, that's a lot of
hmm.
work. It's
It's
Hmm.
easier to just stay where
uncomfortable.
you are. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is.
Even when it's bad.
Hmm.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
This next song is I'll Make a Man Out of You by Peyton Parrish. Of course, the original is from Mulan. It was released as a single on Noise Machine in 2021. So a lot of people probably hate these, but I love when people do Disney covers and release it on social media. Because, I just grew up on Disney and I love all of these songs. So this is kind of like a metal version of a great song from Disney. I
Hmm.
loved Mulan. I think I was a teenager when it came out, but I still, like, it gripped me.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
so, I really like this one. Also, I picked this as a first. Well, it's the first song I heard covered by Peyton Parrish, so that brought him on my radar. But also, this song connects to another first for me. When I finally did lose my virginity, it was while I was watching Mulan.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. Wow.
Wow.
The winner of
I
this week's
okay.
podcast is Heather.
You win.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you win. First of all, I'm only laughing because I was thinking like over here, and
Yeah?
you went like way
Oh,
Yes.
over
Smart
there.
turn.
yeah.
Good
Yeah.
to know we're ending on a high note.
Yeah, I will always think of you when I watch Mulan now, Heather.
Oh, thank you.
Heather,
Oh, I
I
should have
mean,
I should have
Wow.
prefaced that with a disclaimer for my parents. Sorry, mom and dad. Now you
first
know something you never wanted
episode.
to know.
Now you know.
They're gonna be like, wait a minute. She said she
That's
was
why it
watching
was so
Mulan
loud.
with such and such.
You didn't
That's
tell
why
me
you
it
kept
hot.
going back to who is that girl I see staring back right at me. Mushu, was that Mushu really?
Wow.
Child.
So,
I ain't
Um,
know
there
we
you
was
go.
spilling
That
the tea on
clattering.
discourse.
I mean,
Discourse just became I got some
yeah.
quitao.
Ah.
Well, I mean, I got no words after that, Heather. That's it.
yeah.
That takes it
Yeah.
I
all.
mean, I guess you
Yeah.
made a man out of whoever it was, so.
Good point.
I'll be here all night.
You need that. That needs to become a clip.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Oh my god, I've smiled so much, my jaw hurts.
I know.
Well, that is our episode. It was pretty fantastic to hang out with all three of you this week.
Yeah.
I will crown myself the winner because I need it.
Yep, you win.
You definitely win.
Yeah, you win.
That was a slam dunk.
Yeah, it was one of those
Yes.
fancy slam dunks too, when they like go under the leg and like
An alley oop.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Oh man.
All right. Well, a huge thank you to my co-host for believing in my vision. Y'all really are amazing. And Tivi, thank you for joining and supporting us. I'm sorry you didn't win, but maybe next time.
I never win. It's fine.
Where can people find you online?
Oh my gosh. So you can find Hey Awesome Girl on all the socials. We are Hey Awesome Girls with an S. And you can find me personally. I'm at Tivi Jones, TiviJones, on all the socials as well.
Excellent. We will be back with another episode every week, so be sure to hit subscribe. You can follow us on various platforms at Discourse Podcast. That's Discourse with 2 C's. And of course, find the playlists on Spotify and Tidal. You have been a wonderful audience. Good night.
Good night.